There's been no rain for months. Relentless heat has sucked the moisture from the sand. This may be a desert, but it's a desert in which the lives of animals and people are intimately entwined. The desert city of Jodhpur, a city bustling with life. In this desert, harsh surroundings forge strange alliances. You never know what you'll find.
Major funding for nature is provided by the Park Foundation, dedicated to education and quality television. Major corporate support is made possible by Canon in our dedication to the preservation of nature and its never-ending beauty. In photographs, you can capture the wild and leave it as you found it. By Ford Motor Company, we turned large areas of this plant complex outside Mexico City into a natural refuge for waterfowl, amphibians, and desert flora. Ford Motor Company, better ideas driven by you. And by TIAA CREF, meeting your personal investing needs with mutual funds, tuition savings plans, investments for retirement, insurance, and more. TIAA CREF, ensuring the future for those who shape it. And by annual financial support from viewers like you.
This is the great Indian desert.
The Thar Desert, and it's cold this morning. But in a few months, the sun will burn the ground and temperatures will soar to above 50 degrees centigrade. This huge stretch of land sweeps across the states of Rajasthan and Gujarat and west into Pakistan. It may not rain for years, but these sand dunes and the dry scrubland are home to a rich variety of wildlife.
Demoiselle cranes by the thousand. But what are they doing here? The answer lies just across the dunes in the little village of Kitchen. This may be a desert, but it's a desert in which the lives of animals and people are intimately entwined. These harsh surroundings forge strange alliances. This is what the birds have been waiting for. Throughout the winter, the people of Kitchen put out grain for the cranes. Enormous amounts every day.
This extraordinary relationship started hundreds of years ago. In the beginning, it must have been a handful of demoiselle cranes being fed by the village. Today, thousands are welcomed and fed. But where do they all come from? They've traveled from their breeding grounds in Central Asia, thousands of kilometers over the sandy wastes of the Rajasthan desert to this tiny village of Kitchen.
In every village and waterhole across the desert, flocks of cranes are welcomed. They're symbols of great fortune and good luck. For 6 months each year, birds and people share their lives. In this desert, you never know what you'll find. There are more people here than in any other desert, 100 times the density in the Sahara. And where you find people, you always find animals. This is the famous fair at Pushkar. It's been held for centuries. People may have walked for weeks to get here. It's a big social event, but they are mainly here to buy and sell camels. Teams of hairdressers move through the fair. Every camel is clipped and trimmed, and they sport the latest in bridal wear to ensure that they look their best. This has always been a crowded desert, but today human populations are increasing dramatically. They are making new and unsustainable demands on its fragile resources. With such pressures, is there any room for wildlife? Animals that were once widespread are now found only in the dry grasslands at the desert's edge. These are blackbuck, most elegant of India's antelope. This is a sacred animal, and even a glimpse of it is considered auspicious. The chronicles of the Mughals tell of herds of tens of thousands. Emperors and Maharajas hunted them with trained cheetahs. Today, the numbers are a shadow of what they once were. Only mature males are black. Their coat is at its darkest at the time of the rut. Each male sets up a tiny territory just a few meters across. He doesn't chase females but waits for them to come to him. And he has a most unusual way of attracting them. He produces a large pile of dung. This exotic cocktail of odors should prove an irresistible aphrodisiac. While he waits, small birds like larks are drawn to the dung piles by the insects they attract. They in turn are a magnet for hunters like this harrier. Jackals don't seem to worry the blackbuck. The males stay tied to their territories. They have their minds on other things. But the appearance of another hunter elicits a very different reaction. The wolf. This is a real threat. All thoughts of sex are abandoned as the bucks flee. As soon as the danger passes, the bucks return. On their way back to their dung piles, they trespass on others' territories. Disputes break out all along the borders. Some go no further than strutting and posturing, but if females are about, this can become a fight. With such potentially lethal weapons, this jousting and sparring follows well-established rules. Serious injuries are rare, but it has been known for horns to become fatally entwined. The bucks remain locked together even in death. Whatever the outcome, it's the female that decides where to bestow her favors. She can wander freely from one territory to another. Only if a buck looks good and smells good will she choose to stay. in a split second, it's all over. Blackbuck thrive in arid grasslands, but they do need water. Yet back in the dunes, there's an animal that survives even the terrible dryness of the desert. It's the chinkara, the Indian gazelle. To survive here, the true desert dwellers like these Bishnoi people have had to develop a deep understanding of desert plants and animals. Their relationship with one particular tree, the khejri, is truly extraordinary. The Bishnoi regard the khejri tree as deeply sacred. The presence of the khejri can be a matter of life and death for them. The trees are carefully pruned. The fresh leaves provide vital fodder for animals in midsummer when there is nothing left to eat. The fruits of the tree are made into a nutritious vegetable dish, and if things become really desperate, the bark can be ground up into flour to make bread. It is truly a tree of life. The relationship of the Bishnoi people and the khejri tree goes back hundreds of years. Their devotion and sacrifice to this tree is commemorated by Bishnoi priests in their temples.
In 1730, at this very spot, more than 350 men, women and children were butchered trying to save the khejri tree. The local Maharaja ordered the trees to be cut down to build his palace. The Bishnois knew that this tree was vital to their survival. The soldiers came, the Bishnoi men, women and children hugged the trees. The soldiers moved in with their axes and swords, and 363 people were hacked to death.
Today the Bishnoi are the true guardians of the desert. They are strict vegetarians. Their culture forbids the killing of any living thing. Animals of all kinds are made welcome in their fields, and they go to incredible lengths to prevent anyone harming them.
I'm sitting in a desert dwelling of the Bishnois. A few weeks ago, a young man of this dwelling lost his life as he chased after armed poachers. He took a bullet and was shot dead, but the life of a chinkara was saved.
We may talk about making sacrifices for conservation, but where else would someone give their life for an animal? No wonder great tracts of land around Bishnoi dwellings have become a haven for desert wildlife. Away from these villages, the desert seems empty. But as night falls, it's quite another story.
राजपूत में मान गिनती के लोग हैं, मतलब 15
आदमी एक गांव के पूरे गांव बाकी कई राजपूत इस टाइम पे इनके नजदीक नहीं जाते। हम तो इसके लिए जान दे सकते।
As the sand gives up the heat of the day, its surface seems to boil. Beetles that have spent the day hiding from the burning sun pour out in the cool of the desert night.
हम तो इसके लिए जान दे सकते हैं तो किले के नीचे अपने अजीत भवन के पास उनको
There are hunters here too, like the saw-scale viper, but the armor-plated beetles have nothing to fear from it. It's after warmer, softer prey, like gerbils.
राजपूत में मान गिनती के लोग हैं मतलब
तो किले के नीचे अपने अजीत भवन के पास उनको गड्ढा
डॉक्टर मिला नहीं यहाँ पर
सुंदर है
This is what the beetles are after. With so many people and animals moving around the desert, there's enough dung to feed an army of beetles. Some of the dung they eat, and some they lay eggs in. Rolling dung is hard work, but it doesn't pay to take a breather.
राजपूत में मान गिनती के लोग हैं मतलब
At night, you have to watch where you step. The dunes are crawling with scorpions. Towards dawn, the creatures of the night vanish into the sand. The desert city of Jodhpur, dominated by the massive Mehrangarh fort. Once it housed the armies of the Maharaja, now it has other residents. Army patrols the ramparts. From their high vantage point, the vultures look out over a city bustling with life. For some animals, the presence of so many people in the desert is a godsend. Throughout the city and at the edges of the desert, large numbers of langurs live in troops. These young animals are running off with eggplants from a local farmer's field. Each troop keeps to its own territory and will attack others that trespass. The fields outside the city provide rich pickings, and the farmers have a terrible job keeping the langurs away. Although the langurs may be chased and cursed, they are never actually harmed. In fact, quite the opposite. The people consider the langurs to be the descendants of Hanuman, the monkey god, one of the legendary gods of the Hindu pantheon. It is considered very auspicious to feed the langurs. All around the city, the people make a daily pilgrimage to feed them. This bonanza sustains a huge population of langurs. Grooming is a pleasurable way to maintain close ties. This is a social function which keeps harmony within the troop. The langurs are a colourful and surprising feature of many desert towns, sustained by the religious beliefs of the people who live there. But those same beliefs support other animals too, in quite different and most unexpected ways. In the city of Jodhpur, the streets are full of working animals, horses and camels, elephants and oxen. Cattle are sacred. Few would eat the meat of a cow or any of the other animals. So what happens when they die? Each day, the dead are taken to the edge of the city. As the sun warms the rooftops, the vultures launch themselves into the rising thermals. Few people will even touch a dead animal. Disposing of the corpse is the task of one small group of people, the chamars, with a little help from the vultures. The skin will sell for a few rupees, or the man may use it himself as a drum skin. The chamar are also ritual drummers. Either way, in removing the cow's skin, he has literally opened up an opportunity for the vultures. As he leaves, they tumble from the sky. Without people and their livestock, the desert couldn't feed anything like this number of vultures. And people benefit too. Vultures are the nation's cleaning service. Without them, our life would be impossible. In just 20 minutes, the carcass is stripped to the bone. Heavy with meat, they mustn't leave it too late to fly back to the fort. When the sun goes down, the rising hot air currents will die, and they could be stranded. All across the desert, jackals welcome the coming of the night. And far away, another creature appears. The caracal. It waits until the last gleam of light has faded before venturing from its lair. This shy and beautiful cat was once widespread, but now it's rarely seen. It's a hunter of the night, but it doesn't pass up an opportunity to scavenge. By March, the desert pools are drying up. The cranes will soon be flying north, leaving the dwindling waterholes to others. There's been no rain for months. Everything is drawn to the few remaining pools. Black-winged stilts, red-wattled lapwings, spot-billed ducks, and the vultures. Even the hardy chinkara take advantage of this last chance of a drink. They mingle with blackbuck. Domestic animals like buffalo rub shoulders with wild. These are nilgai, blue bull, largest of India's antelope. Desert people won't kill them, even though they can devastate their crops. Everything shares these waterholes, For animals, wild and domestic, it's water to drink. It's drinking water for people too, and the only place to wash clothes, pots and pans, and themselves. Most fish would suffocate in this pool, but these have the ability to breathe the air when the water loses its oxygen. As so often in this desert, people provide another unexpected bonus for wildlife. Soft-shelled turtles suddenly appear to help with the washing up. The most unlikely creatures are sacred. The Hindu god Vishnu once took the form of a turtle. As the waterholes shrink, frogs become ever more concentrated. Easy pickings, you might think, for egrets. But the frogs have a spectacular trick. They race to the center of the pool where the water is too deep for the egrets to wade. So, to counter the frogs' ingenuity, the egrets try a new strategy. But they don't give up. As they skim across the surface, the egrets trail their feet in the water. Perhaps this will panic the frogs into the open. A pied kingfisher takes advantage of the fish in the shrinking pool. It has a nest in the bank. The water and the fish will soon be gone, but for now, the pickings are easy. In a couple of weeks, the chicks should fly the nest. Under cover of darkness, other hunters will stalk the pool. The kingfisher chicks should be safe enough in their burrow, but all is not well. Relentless heat has sucked the moisture from the sand. The chick's trapped, but its nightmare is only just beginning. A prowling ratel has been attracted by the chick's struggles. A baby kingfisher would go down well if it can shake it loose. The chick is out of reach, but the ratel hasn't given up. Extraordinary. This is truly remarkable. Very few animals use tools in such a calculated way, but the log isn't quite high enough for the ratel to reach the chick. Perhaps another log will work better. The pond is almost dry. Most of its fish will perish, but not this one. These climbing perch can survive out of water for more than 24 hours. As well as gills, they have air-breathing organs very like lungs. They lever themselves across the mud with spikes on their bony gill covers. Many will die. If they are still in the open at daybreak, they will be easy pickings for predators. But a few will find a more permanent pond. Very few pools survive the searing heat of summer. The swimming pool has become a cricket pitch. Though most of the desert is full of people, there's one place where you'd think nothing could survive. The sun-baked salt flats of the Rann of Kutch. Yet incredibly, this is the last refuge of the Indian wild ass, surely one of the toughest animals in the world. It hasn't rained for 7 months. There's not a drop of water here, yet the ass can survive on the scant moisture they glean from the leaves of succulent plants. Even for the ass, this is a testing time. The heat saps the energy from their bodies. The herd is waiting for relief. At the edge of the desert, the people have been waiting too. Now the gathering clouds tell them that their long wait is over. The monsoon has arrived. When it rains in the desert, it really rains. This is what the ass have been waiting for. Their world has been transformed. But the water and the greenery won't last long. They must pack the whole of their breeding cycle into a few short weeks. The mares give birth to foals conceived nearly a year ago, and almost at once they are ready to mate again. Stallions battle for dominance. There's no time for ritual and posturing. The matter has to be settled fast and the result made to stick. Fights between stallions can be bloody, but for the victors, winning the females can be just as bruising. The stallion has been given the runaround, but eventually the mare allows him to mount. In 11 months' time, there'll be a new foal to take advantage of the monsoon's transient flush of green. every foal is precious. Less than 2,000 wild ass remain. And even this place is under pressure. Industry hasn't left the ass alone. 30% of our salt comes from the Rann of Kutch. But the desert has one final surprise to spring. It blooms pink with flamingos. Thousands of flamingos flock to the Rann of Kutch every year. A few weeks ago, this was a lifeless expanse of cracked and sun-scorched mud. Now, it's like a shallow sea. And it really is a sea, for the water isn't fresh, it's salty. The ocean has invaded the land.
The fury of the Indian monsoon has blown the seawater over a vast area. It has encompassed thousands of square kilometers of desert, but it's a temporary sea. It will live for only 2 months.
While the waters last, the flamingos will feast on a rich seafood cocktail. Some years, far out across the brackish waters, they even nest in the remotest stretches of the Rann. In this crowded desert kingdom, it's only the flamingos that have found a place beyond the reach of man.
To learn more about what you've seen on this nature program, visit PBS online at www.pbs.org.
In the next program, we'll be in a different kind of desert. The cold desert of the Himalayas, where the icy peaks are some of the most inhospitable on this earth. But they still support a rich variety of life.
Land of the Tiger is available on home video cassette for $19.95 or $89.95 for the 6-part series. To order, call 1-800-336-1917 or write to the address on your screen. Please specify episode title. Major funding for nature is provided by the Park Foundation, dedicated to education and quality television. Major corporate support is made possible by Canon in our dedication to the preservation of nature and its never-ending beauty. In photographs, you can capture the wild and leave it as you found it. By Ford Motor Company. Our new vehicles are made with more than 2 million tons of recycled metals, enough to build 250 Eiffel Towers a year. Ford Motor Company. Better ideas driven by you. And by TIAA CREF, meeting your personal investing needs with mutual funds, tuition savings plans, investments for retirement, insurance, and more. TIAA CREF, ensuring the future for those who shape it. And by annual financial support from viewers like you.